Port Chatham, a legendary hotspot of Bigfoot activity in Alaska and a historical treasure trove of cryptid curiosity. This is the spot where our adventurers are interested in. However, it is extremely difficult to access this spot these days, so they settled for a camp just 34 miles away. Meet our heroes, Chuke and Beans, legends in their own right. They have accepted the challenge of camping in Kachemak Bay State Park in search of the Sasquatch. Our trip starts with our salty Captain Davin, a mischievous character hailing from the local homesteading family known as the Kilchers. He brings a banana on board for good luck.
Gotta keep my blood sugar up, baby!
Our team sets up camp just off the beach and bordering a lagoon near the tree line to the dense forest. Chuke has a new theory. In order to find Bigfoot, you must not look for Bigfoot. Just engage in another activity. In this case, it is a hunt for black bear. The first morning in camp, right at 6 a.m., our team hears a very strange sound fly directly over their tents.
We had a weird sound fly over our tents. It was more like a UFO story, but especially the head of the bay, just 10 miles down there, 15 miles. It's a UFO hotspot since the 60s, but we heard. You described it as like a craft from the Jetsons go right over our tent.
Yeah, it was like a humming, trilling, I can't really make it, but and it didn't, I'm familiar with drones. I've been around a lot of drones, filming and things like that, DJI drones, commercial drones. And it didn't sound like a drone. It didn't sound like propellers or anything like that. It was a humming, trilling, like sound. And it didn't sound, there's lots of eagles all around us and they fly over us all the time. It didn't sound like any kind of big bird. I don't know. I'm at a loss as to wonder what it could be.
And it went right over our tents.
Yeah, it was about 6 a.m. in the morning. It was daylight. We were still racked out and, I thought about jumping out, but by the time it was 5-6 seconds, it just whoosh, and it was gone.
Yeah, to me, I thought it was super freaky because I've been hunting for 10 years here. I duck hunt and I know the sound a mallard, male makes when he's flying 50, 60 miles an hour. They make a whistling sound. And this was not that. I thought it was a jet, but then I was like, wait, it's right over our tents. It was going at least 50 or 60 miles an hour. It went right over our tents. It couldn't have been more than 10 feet above us. And it sounded like it was electric field was like ionizing and crackling the air around it. It was like, it sounded like a weird jet sound. And the first thing I know we both said that we thought, oh, it sounded like a spacecraft. So It was right about 6 a.m.
Yeah, that was the first thing that popped in my head was it sounds like a little, what you would imagine a flying saucer to sound like, or maybe like a little science fiction craft on the Jetsons or something. That's exactly what it sounded like.
There's no bird that could have made that. And I've had a lot of drones, and there was no propeller sound of that buzzing, whining propeller sound at all.
Upon investigating the area, Beans and Chuke discover bear tracks in an enclosed lagoon behind their camp. They also discover a strange midden, a dump of shells and glass bottles bordered by a thin corridor of jagged rock.
I don't know if this is a bad omen, but Beans found a dead raven. It's just sitting right there, like somebody placed it there. I don't know what would kill a raven or if it would just die of natural causes, but it's pretty odd. Another odd thing about this strange little rock freaking, well, you'll see. This is freaky to walk through. All these shells. Something's been eating here. What I thought was odd is there's bottles. I could see a bear bringing shells. Maybe people brought bottles here, but they're like old antique bottles. The Sasquatch is getting drunk up here or something. It's definitely a nice, cool area. As you can see, it's a tight passageway. Kind of barely get through it. The Sasquatch would have to crawl at some point to get through this, but it's like something straight out of Planet of the Apes. I know with a rifle it was tough for me to get through. And then we go from a little sheltered lagoon to beach lagoon on the beach. Beautiful day. Beautiful area.
Skeleton of unidentified creatures washed up on the beach. Near the encampment, a dark cave is found. Our travelers did not enter as it was partially submerged in water. What secrets could this cave hold?
All right, look at this, Beans. I've been watching you walk. You know, we were here earlier, but your stride isn't that big.
No.
Like that is.
I stayed up here.
Barely. That's a huge freaking stride. Look at that. That wouldn't be a bear's stride.
That is weird.
Hold this for a second, or when you're done.
Yeah. Hold on. You want to get something?
Yeah. Now look at that stride. Like you don't.
Oh, I can't even reach that one.
Yeah. And it's something bipedal. Almost like a.
That almost looks like a moose hoof right there.
Yeah. Almost like a big toe thing though, too. Look at this one. Almost looks like a barefoot. Yeah, and we're getting into our tracks, but it's pretty strange.
It is weird.
Okay, now this is weird. there are a cluster of mussel clams. This is still a good unopened one, sitting on top of a stump. Wasn't brought by the tide. Grass is still green. The tide goes up to where the gravel is. So something placed those on there. You know, being said it could have been a bird or something, but I don't see a bird or a bear. This would have to be a big bird. There's a rock attached to it. Just placing them perfectly on that stump. Pretty odd.
And the adventure continues. Tune in next time when Rob joins the gang and they explore a new area.